The title of this book, The Spiritual Man, it is written by our beloved brother, Watchman Nee. We are in great part 2, chapter 2 of this great part 2, chapter 2, the experience of soulish believer. Chapter 2, subpart 4. Chapter 2, subpart 4. Because he possesses ocean of plan and mountain of opinion, it is extremely trying to walk with a carnal Christian. Whatever he deems to be good must be accepted as good by others. The essential condition for walking with him is perfect agreement to his idea or interpretation. The slightest interpretation is credited as a deep involvement in what he considers to be the faith once delivered to the saint. Any different opinion which is manifested, he positively cannot tolerate. Although the soulish believer knew he should not hold on to opinion, he makes sure that whenever an opinion needs to die, it is certainly not going to be his sectarism. He will admit it's unscriptural, but it is never his particular sect which must die. Whatever such a believer does not accept, he labels as heresy. And God, is this any wonder that other Christians soulish like himself respond in kind by denying the authenticity of his faith? He is deeply attached to his work. He loves his own small so-called inner circle and is thus incapable of laboring together with other Christians, with other children of God, and he insists on denominating God's children according to his own affiliation. When it comes to preaching, the soulish cannot rely entirely on God. They either repose their confidence in some good illustrative story and lofty word or in their personality. Perhaps a few notable preachers can even completely rely upon themselves. Because I have said it, people are bound to listen. They may depend on God, but they likewise depend on self. Hence, all their careful preparation. They spend more time in analyzing, in collecting material, and in hard thinking than on prayer, on seeking God's mind, and on waiting for the power from above. They memorize their message and then deliver them verbatim. Their thought occupy a primary place in such work. With such an approach as this, these believers will naturally put more confidence in the message than in the Lord. Instead of trusting the Holy Spirit to reveal men's need and God's supply to their listener, they depend exclusively upon the word they deliver to move human's heart. What these carnal believers stress and trust are but their own words. Perhaps their speech does convey truth, but without the quickening of the Holy Spirit, even truth is of small advantage. There shall be very little spiritual fruit. Should anyone learn on words rather than on the Holy Spirit. However, much these articulations are acclaim, they only reach people's mind, not their heart. Soulish believer relish using high-sounding, spectacular words and phrases. At least in this respect, they are trying to imitate the genuinely spiritual one who, having been given so much experience, are able to teach with a distinctiveness of which none of their predecessors may ever have conceived. The carnal consider this highly attractive, hence their delight in employing wonderful imagination in preaching. Whenever a masterful idea come upon them while walking, conversing, eating, or sleeping, they will jot it down for future use. They never question whether such idea is revealed in their spirit by the Holy Spirit or is merely a sudden thought which bursts upon their mind. Some Christians who are indeed soulish find special delight in helping others. Since they have not yet reached maturity, they do not know how to give food at the proper time. This does not mean these do not have knowledge. Actually, they have too much. Upon discovering any improper element or when told of some difficulty, they immediately assume the role of senior believer, eager to help with what limited insight they have. They pour forth scriptural teaching and experiences of sin in lavish abundance. They are inclined to tell all they knew, near perhaps more than they knew, now reaching out into the realm of supposition. These senior and God believer exhibit one after another everything which has been stored in their mind, without at all inquiring whether those to whom they speak really have such a need or can absorb so much teaching in one session. They are like Ezekiel, who opened all his storehouse and showed all of his treasure, sometimes without any outside stimulus, but just because they are stirred by an inner emotion, they will show others with spiritual teaching, many of which are mere theory. They wish to display their knowledge. The above characteristic is not true, however, of all soulish children of God. It varies with different personality. Some will keep quiet, uttering not so much as syllable. Even in the face of desperate need, when they out to speak, they will claim their mouth shut. They have not yet attained freedom from natural illness and fear. They may sit next to those talkative believers and criticize them in heart, but the silence does not make them any less soulish. Because they are not rooted in God and have not therefore learned how to be hidden in Him, carnal people long to be seen. They seek prominent position in spiritual work. If they attend meeting, they expect to be heard, not to hear. They experience unspeakable joy whenever recognized and respected. The soulish love to use spiritual phraseology. The soulish love to use spiritual phraseology. They learn by heart a large spiritual vocabulary which they invariably employ whenever convenient. They use it in preaching as well as in praying, but without any heart. A vaunting ambition marks out those who live in the realm of the soul. The first place is often their desire. They are vainglorious in the Lord's work. They aspire to be powerful worker, greatly used by the Lord. Why? That they may gain a place, obtain some glory. They like to compare themselves with other, probably not so much with those whom they do not know as with those with whom they work. Such contending and striving in the dark can be very intense. Those who are spiritually behind, they despise, regarding them as too large girth. Those who are spiritually great, they downgrade, visualizing themselves as almost equal. Their incessant pressure is to be great, to be the head. They hope their work will prosper so that they may be well spoken of. These desire to cross are deeply concealed in their heart, deeply detectable by others. Although these longing may indeed be well nigh hidden and mingled with other and pure motive, the presence of such base desire is nonetheless an irrefutable fact. The soulish are terribly self-satisfied. Should the Lord use them to save one soul, they will explode with joy and consider themselves spiritually successful. They take pride in themselves if they succeed but once. A little knowledge, a little experience, a little success easily provoke them to feel as though they have achieved a great deal. This common trait among soulish believers can be likened to a small vessel easily filled. They do not observe how vast and deep is the ocean of water which remain. So long as their bucket is brimming, they are satisfied. They have not been lost in God, else they will be able to take in their stride all things as nothing. Their eyes focus upon their petty self, and hence they are greatly affected by a simple little gain or loss. Such limited capacity is the reason why God cannot use them more. If such boasting erupt upon winning only 10 souls of the Lord, what will happen? What will happen? What will happen should 1,000 souls be saved? After they have experienced some success in preaching, one thought lingered with soulish believer. They were truly wonderful. They derive great joy in dwelling upon their superiority. How distant they are from others, even greater than the greatest apostle. Now, sometimes they are hurt in heart if others have not thus esteemed them. They bemoan the blindness of those who do not recognize that a prophet from Nazareth is here. At time, when these soulish believers think their message contains thoughts which not one has discovered before, they become troubled. Should the audience fail to appreciate the marvel of it, following each success, they will spend a few hours, if not a day or two, in self-congratulation. Under such deceit, it is no wonder that they often come to assume that the Church of God shall soon see a great evangelist, revivalist, or orator in them. What anguish for them it must be if people fail to take notice. Carnal believers are those without principle. Their words and deed do not follow mix maxim. They live instead according to their emotion and mind. They act as they feel or think, sometimes quite contrary to their usual pattern. The change can be seen most vividly after preaching. They change to what they recently have preached. If, for instance, they speak of patience, then for a day or two afterward, they are unusually patient.